Call it the Liberty Tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. Saved it from the storm, boys, water down its roots with tea. And the sun will always shine on the old Liberty Tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. March along with the piper, boys, we were born forever free. Let's go pay the piper, boys, beneath the Liberty Tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. Pay the price they're asking, boys, always pay the tyrant's fee. Never give up the struggle, boys, fight for the Liberty Tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. Stand for the rights of man, boys, stand against all tyranny. Hang the lance of freedom, boys, high on the Liberty Tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. It will grow as we grow, boys, it will be as strong as we. We must cling to our faith, boys, faith in the Liberty Tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty.
Well, I like guns, I like the way they look. I like the shiny steel and the polished wood. I don't care if they're big or small, if they're for sale, hell, I want them all. I like guns, I like guns, I like guns. Well, I really like 22 mag, 45 lever with the Winchester tag. I like my double barrel, had it most of my life. 357 was a present from my wife. I like guns, I like the way they look. I like the shiny steel and the polished wood. I don't care if they're big or small, they're for sale, hell, I want them all. I like guns, I like guns, I like guns. I don't really get all the fuss, why they're trying to take the guns off of us. 'Cause I ain't gonna shoot anyone, and no one shoots at me, 'cause I got a gun. I like guns, I like the way they look. I like the shiny steel and the polished wood. I don't care if they're big or small, they're for sale, hell, I want them all. I like guns, I like guns, I like guns. God made the animals, and God made the trees. God made you, well, hell, he even made me. He gave me this voice so I could be a singer. So you tell me why I've got a trigger finger. I like guns, I like the way they look. I like the shiny steel and the polished wood. I don't care if they're big or small, they're for sale, hell, I want them all. I like guns, I like guns, I like guns. I like guns, I like guns, I like guns.
Liberty's Guardian, Guns and Ammunition, a family-owned business located in the heart of Ohio's hunting country. Let us help you find the right shotgun or rifle for you. Or if you're looking for a pistol or concealed carry, we have a nice selection of compact and subcompact pistols for that too. Check out our website at www.libertiesguardian.com. That website again is www.libertiesguardian.com. Go to the website and check out our selection today.
We all need to prepare ourselves. You might have the food, water, gold, and silver, but ask yourself, are you truly prepared? That's why you need to visit MaineMilitary.com. MaineMilitary.com carries everything you need. Gas masks, fire starter kits, high-capacity magazines, chemical suits, military surplus items, and much more. Do you own a firearm? MaineMilitary.com has a large selection of pistols and rifles suited for your needs. Are your local stores sold out of ammunition? Call or visit them today for prices on hard-to-find ammo and bulk ammo orders. You don't need to worry about having a military surplus store in your area because MaineMilitary.com is the only store you'll ever need, all from the comfort of your computer. Visit them online today at MaineMilitary.com. That's Maine, like the state, military.com.
Join Mark and Don for Weapons Wednesday, where you'll learn how to use everything from your bare hands to your average AR-15.
The 12-gauge autoloader.
Sure.
The 45 long slide.
Yep.
With laser sighting.
You betcha.
The Uzi 9mm.
Yes, sir.
Phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
What are you, crazy?
Wrong.
Okay. They'll talk about that too. So whatever question you have about whatever weapon you have, call Mark and Don on Weapons Wednesday. And remember, your mind is your first best weapon.
I had a dream the other night that, well, I didn't understand. A figure walked in through the mist with a flintlock in his hand. His clothes were torn and dirty as he stood there by my bed. He took off his three-cornered hat, and speaking low to me, he said, "We fought a revolution to secure our liberty. We wrote the Constitution as a shield from tyranny. For future generations, this legacy we gave. In this, the land of the free and home of the brave. The freedoms we'd hoped you to always keep. But tyrants labored endlessly while your parents were asleep. Your freedom's gone, your courage lost. You're no more than a slave. In this, the land of the free and home of the brave. You buy permits to travel and permits to own a gun. Permits to start a business or to build a place for one. On land that you believe you own, you pay a yearly rent, although you have no voice in saying how the money's spent. Your children must attend a school that doesn't educate, and your Christian values can't be taught according to the state. You read about the current news in a regulated press, and you pay a tax you do not owe to please the IRS. Your money is no longer made of silver nor of gold. You trade your wealth for paper, so your life can be controlled. You pay for crimes that make our nation turn from God and shame. You've taken Satan's number. You've traded in your name. You've given government control to those who do you harm, so they could burn down churches and seize the family farm, and keep our country deep in debt, put men of God in jail, harass your fellow countrymen while corrupted courts prevail. Your public servants don't uphold the solemn oaths they've sworn. And your daughters visit doctors so their children won't be born. Your leaders send artillery and guns to foreign shores and send your sons to slaughter fighting other people's wars. Can you regain the freedoms for which we fought and died? Or don't you have the courage or the faith to stand with pride? And are there no more values for which you'll fight to save? Or do you wish your children to live in fear and be a slave? O sons of the Republic, arise, take a stand, defend the Constitution, the supreme law of the land. Preserve our great republic and each God-given right. And pray to God to keep the torch of freedom burning bright. As I awoke, he'd vanished in the mist from whence he came. His words were true. We are not free, but we have ourselves to blame. For even now as tyrants trample each God-given right, we only watch and tremble, too afraid to stand and fight. If he stood by your bedside in a dream while you were asleep and wondered what remains of the freedoms he'd fought to keep, what would be your answer if he called out from the grave? Is this still the land of the free and home of the brave? God bless you, and God bless this republic.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree, and we are the sons of liberty. Better put some teeth behind that and get ready for war. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first hour of the afternoon intelligence report. I'm Mark Corky. One day closer to victory for all of our brothers and sisters, both on and behind the lines in occupied territories, Southwest, East, Northeast, and Central. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to us on Libertytreeradio.4mg.com. We're also on AM and FM micro stations, AM and FM conventional stations, CB base stations, and Ultra Net, Hallmark, and Golden Spike technologies east and west of the Mississippi, along with Alaska. Good afternoon to all of our friends out there in the lower 49, including the great state of Jefferson and Conus, along with the outlying two states, the territories, and the clock. Somewhere it's midnight, somewhere it's midday, but right now it is 5:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the bottom of the state of Michigan, it's been a warm summer day. We have a classic July weather. Ooh, that's a hint. Today is Weapons Wednesday, by the way. It is the 1st of July. It is the 12th year of open and obvious and in-your-face Soviet, socialist, and Fabian socialist occupation of America with a K. 2020 Old Earth Calendar, 2020 Year of the Dance of Swords, and the war has begun. So we are, of course, into the exciting hacking and chopping rules of conflict. And to what degree or what level you experience that, well, that'll depend on where the thermometer or the scale is hitting right now. And needless to say, it's going to continue to get pretty exciting and interesting. So, as it is Weapons Wednesday. A couple of interesting things out there I wanted to touch on. First of all, I should play this. If you haven't heard about what's going on with Remington, I'm going to play this right now. It is update on Remington bankruptcy sales situation, smart guns for the 1st of July 2020, 16,485 hits on this video already. It's over at Guns and Gadgets. Go give them a thumbs up. Always share. Hold on, I'm going to do that real quick while I tell you. While I'm telling you, I'm doing it. As a matter of fact, I just did it right there, and I covered pretty much all of my bingo, bango, tango, bungo, wongo, dip, chit, noop, dop, dig, bung, hoo, dow, whatever they are. Sounds like a silverware drawer or a bunch of Chinese telephone books. Take your pick. Anyway, for everybody, this is, again, Guns and Gadgets on YouTube. Update on the Remington bankruptcy, and more on Remington Technologies here in a minute. But before we go any farther, let's play this through, and that'll save it for, that way Ed won't have to worry about trying to fight uphill on this one. Here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. If you are not a member of the channel and you want to stay up to date with what is going on around the nation, no matter where you live, this is where you should find a new home. Subscribe to Guns and Gadgets. This is where you'll find all of that news, sometimes several times a day. Not doing it to bother you, but there's a lot of stuff popping off. Just like I woke up today to several issues that I have been looking into. that I'll probably do a couple more videos today. So let us get into an update that I think we all should know about, and that is the issues going on with Remington. If you haven't seen my first Remington video, link will be floating above my head, one of these corners somewhere. But that will give you some specifics about the impending Chapter 11 bankruptcy of Remington and the looks like the looming sale to the Navajo Nation, and I go over the history and how it's happened and what's going on. Well, there's been an update to that, so let's get into this. If you are an owner of Remington, you're going to want to pay attention because things are changing. So the word I have as of right now, and this is ever changing. This is a very fluid situation, so this could change. So if you're watching this video like in 6 months from now, all right, today's date is July 1st, 2020. It is, right? Yes, it is. There's so much going on, I don't even know what day it is. All right, so the word is that the Navajo Nation will acquire Remington after they file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Apparently, excuse my ignorance, but the leaders of the nation, whatever, I don't know what they're called, the elders, I don't know, but they have taken that vote, and they are looking to make this purchase. Now, there are a couple other caveats. That even though the Navajo Nation is the preferred purchaser for Remington, the company Remington, once they're in bankruptcy court and proceedings, they have to accept competitive offers from anybody else, and the acquisition/sale has to be approved by the court. So just because they want to do it doesn't necessarily mean it will be the end product, but it's looking like that is going to happen. So another thing that has come out here that is pretty big news. The new ownership, the Navajo Nation, plans again, just like they did in 2018, that if this acquisition goes through, they will stop the production of civilian market AR-15s. They are going to focus on the military and law enforcement contract side of things, as well as hunting rifles for the public. And also, what I think is very bad news for those of us in the firearms community, they will be beginning development and production of smart guns. Now that's a whole ball of wax that we just don't want right now. I mean, there's so many things, so many issues that go into smart guns that, no. So, no. All right, but that is what is going on right now. Again, this could change 20 minutes from now. This could change by the time YouTube finally processes this video once I upload it. But that is the update right now as we speak. What time is it right now? According to my clocker, it's 10:06 a.m. Eastern. So that's that. So that is the news right now. I'm already going to be working on another story coming up, so stay tuned to the channel. If you really want to be in the know, you have to subscribe to the channel, because unless you're like really searching and hitting refresh all day long, if I put out 2-3 videos, you're going to miss them, and some of them could be very important to you. I consider them all important because an infringement in this nation is a dastardly thing. But I put out a lot, and I'm probably going to do at least one more today. So hit that bell icon, toggle it to all notifications. You'll get that notification, especially if I decide to go live, which I don't know, depending on the rest of my day, I might have to later. So until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry your weapon, and subscribe to the channel. Take care, everybody.
Very good. Everybody should have heard that. Again, that's update on Remington bankruptcy sales situation, smart guns, also with the subtitle. That is dated for the July 1st, 2020. Give it full credit. This is the Guns and Gadgets channel. Guys, subscribe, give them a thumbs up. Go to all of his videos, give them all a thumbs up, and do what you can to contribute wherever possible to allied or, again, focused elements like this. Update on the Remington bankruptcy sales situation, smart guns. Now, enough on that for the moment. I think we got enough on the YouTube junk. YouTube can't be trusted. 1 minute it'll be there, next minute they may just purge that whole channel. So again, save all you can, put all of it away, and make a point of identifying alternate contact or broadcast points, and then go from there. Meanwhile, I'm watching our wander-in tiger go by. He's patrolling the yard. He's become the protector of the perimeter. It's rather interesting to watch. So, yes, we have another tiger on the premises, another beastie boy. Anyway, so Remington. Now, a lot of people have asked before, what would you prefer in the way of shotguns? Remington 870. I love the Remington 870. I'll tell you one of my favorite combinations, standard 12 and, like a 2 3/4, doesn't have to be Magnum. Magnum's fine, but whichever way you go, extended tube, 8-shot with a bird barrel, 32 inches fine. And then, again, you've got kind of like a Forever magazine that way. There are a number of different extension tubes. Interestingly enough, Remington, I did not know, got hold of Tapco. And so DPMS, Tapco, and the other companies are all screwed right now, which, by the way, we mentioned that this is also a Soros conglomerate with what was going on with Remington anyway. A while back, anybody who knows the history of what's been happening. So all these companies that were relatively independent, and Tapco was one of the most interesting of the three. DPMS is, AR-15s going back quite a while, basically middle grade. They did have some upper-end guns, but and of course they still, whatever's out there, congratulations, if you got it, that's going to be it, unless somebody smart and kind of picks up the production name, which can happen quite easily. Someone might buy the name, or they might be creative. There's a bunch of other stuff that's happened in the past with that. But Tapco, originally, if you know the history of Tapco, they were like 7 other smaller manufacturing independent companies along the Kentucky-Tennessee Ridge for years. One of them, which Tapco picked up, was one of the first American companies to start doing Chicom counterpart, but American-made add-on features like the dust cover scope mounts. In fact, what's kind of interesting is the Chinese, I think, really reversed that. They copied what was being done by the company that was originally located in Kentucky. The operation, when they came out with these, they sold like hotcakes. Their prices were reasonable. I don't think they were using CNC. They were still, if they were, it was very early CNC when they came up and online. Had they the new CNC technology, they could have undercut the Chinese quite easily, but with American quality materials. Well, Tapco got that company along with several others, and then after they controlled the line, they made everything disappear product-wise. So if you have an old Tapco catalog, you might want to look at that. You can see the acquisition of certain lines, and they would run them into the ground, and then they would cease to exist. Now, it makes sense that Remington and / the ring knockers who were controlling Remington actually manipulated Tapco to where it is now. And all of these other items, in fact, they had the best prices on tube extensions for the Remington. They were the go-to boys for a while for Tapco. I don't know what they've got now. But the company that originally did the tube extensions came from the western end of Tennessee, the eastern end of Tennessee. It was an independent company. These guys did one thing and one thing really good. They were a little production plant, probably about the size of maybe 2 garages, but they cranked out extension tubes that were very, very good quality for the price. And they made them for anything that could take an extension tube. That included some of the odd gun-out companies like the Smith & Wesson guns. For the longest time, there were a couple different patterns that were being built, and they made a couple of universal tubes that were really, really an innovative idea that allowed you to snap an extension tube on pretty much anything. Of course, 870s, 1200s, Model 37 Ithacas, the 1200 being the Winchester, for if you're not familiar with it. Needless to say, the Model 500 Mossbergs, etc. They had something for everybody. Now, that company was absorbed by Tapco, and then almost all the product line was made to disappear. So Tapco started to become, well, it's a good idea, but once it was taken over by the other characters, it became a parasite to destroy the American market for manufacturing. Just a little heads up. Yeah, they got some stuff still in production, but for the most part, it's rather fascinating watching the long in the tooth history of that. Now, the reason I'm bringing up the 870 is because, again, Remington, since the ring knockers are going to slide this over to the nations, needless to say, it's going to get screwed. We know that. The situation is going to get, goofy progressively as we go. Shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. What we need to do is, of course, be prepared for that. And if you are looking at an 870 inventory, now I will mention that there are copies of the 870. I mentioned this many times. The Turks make a copy. The Chinese make a copy. In fact, the 870 is the most silhouetted gun out there. In other words, if you were to look for, what is it that these things are closest to for like the China Sport knockoffs? Typically the 870 rather than the Mossberg or one of the other pattern guns. Now, it doesn't mean the Chinese don't make something like that. They actually do. But interestingly enough, the predominant is the 870 type bolt receiver system, variations in the wood, but for the plain Jane police guns for mass execution and murder, which is what cops love, the foreign cops, Communist Chinese, Israeli, or the ones trained by the Communist Chinese or the Israelis now in America, the basic riot gun is pattern hasn't changed, and a knockoff is made in China for about $120, $150. They were as little as $109, and at one point even $97 a piece. Of course, that's been a while back, and it's floating with the devaluation of the U.S. dollar, et cetera, as we know. The 870 itself, like I said, a bird barrel, IC, improved cylinder would actually be my first choice. Now, IC, everybody goes, IC, what do you want that for? Well, number one, the barrel's cheap. There's a lot of IC barrels out there for nothing, which is why everybody scratches their arse when you do that. And yeah, they're kind of a straight tube, which really improves cylinder. That's what it's all about. Kind of drop that coin down and it'll roll right through the hole of the barrel without any stoppage, as opposed to, modified and all of the others. But what's nice about the IC is that if you are going to be using discarding Sabo shotgun slug, if you want to go from slug to shot and shot to slug, the IC barrel is originally what the Sabo rounds were intended to go down. Now, you can use them in slug barrels, and you can use them in a couple of the other variants, which, by the way, beware. In some cases, the compression might actually straighten your tube out internally, if you didn't know that. My barrel's got a strange, long bulge to it. Yeah, you reformed it. But the IC barrel's really great because for especially hallway scatter with an 8-shot gun, you want to rake whatever's in the hallway or coming up the stairway and go boom, 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 boom. On the 1100 Remington or on the 870 Remington, the extended tube is a perfect choice. Remember, as far as your ammunition goes, learn to reload. You drop the cup-type wad, you go to a cardboard base wad, and when you pull the trigger, as soon as it leaves the end of that tube, it's spreading. So you have different loads, different shots for different purposes. And I would point out, shotgun is so cheap to load. Guys, one of our little events we had here a few years ago is a skeet shooter passed away over on the west side of Ann Arbor here. The son inherited everything. Now, they knew Dad was going to pass away. Dad was an avid skeet shooter. He built probably the equivalent to about a dump truck's worth of ammo a year for his competition work. The son inherited that. He filled up 3 semi-truck-sized dumpsters, not to throw it away. It was the cheapest way to handle the weight. And he sold massive quantities of loaded shot shells for pennies. His dad, he didn't have the place he felt to store it. He didn't want to see it go to waste, and so bushel baskets of loaded shot shell. And again, it was cheap. If you really know what you're doing, and of course he's using number 7.5, number 8 shot. So he's, remember, he's using, depending on his preference. I don't know what all of his specs were, but I know he used a broad spectrum of what you would call pepper shot. Really great for internal use, like for scattering down a hallway, shredding things, especially if you don't use the commercial cup, but use the cardboard wad, just coin type wad. Moment that stuff leaves the tube, you're spraying down the whole hallway or you're spraying down the whole stairway. You can do an arcane load, which is something that I like to do. I take all the junk here's how you make an arcane load up. Take all of your odd shot when you're down to a certain point and you're going to change out with your reloading, dump it into a can. Well, it's number 7.5. Yep, dump it in a can. Well, I'm doing BB. Yep, dump it in a can. I'm doing number 6. Well, what's left in the bottom, dump it in the can. Keep doing that. And then mix it all up really good. Then throw some cast 31 caliber or 36 caliber or, maybe number 4 buck shot. Mate, go get some of those bullet molds we've been telling you about. And throw a bunch of those in there. And then just as a random scoop, you need an ounce worth or an ounce and a half a shot. You know, you can go a little high. Now, remember, your pressures are coming up when you go heavier. However, not to any extreme with an 870 or an 1100. But you load up, you just take your loading cup, and you measure out your 1 ounce of, or you can just approximate it. Who cares? It's really kind of like just a walking Claymore mine that you're building. But you've got number 8, 7.5, number 6. I love number 6. BB, some number 4 buck, and you put it all into the same charge. You know, in front of your powder charge, over top of that coin plug you put in there. A couple of them if you want, maybe 2 to be safe. And then you seal it shut. Make sure that it's, you're not flopping around. And you know what you got? You've got a pretty impressive, oh my God, I hit you with I don't know what shot. Because it's just going to tear the snot out of everything, follow paths of least resistance, long armor, slide into places where you want it to. And if you hit something bare bone open, it just shreds. It shreds. There's no possibility you're going to do anything. You're going to have to go to a doctor. It's going to be an amputation. It shreds. Shears and shreds, and you're going to be thumping them. You're going to do 6, 8 rounds, all boom, 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 empty, and then pass me the shotgun, or you take over while I'm loading mine. And this is a devastating combination. Now, I love number 4 buck. In fact, again, now somebody just asked me here, well, what about double out buck? Oh, that's nice. I'll use double out buck when you throw it at me, but I prefer number 4. Why? Well, because with number 4, I got between 28, 30, and 32 pellets, which are, by the way, 22 caliber, and that's just like dumping a whole mag of M16 or 5.56 down range at really close range. I'm splattering the area. Now, again, I'm going to point out, for in-house or close urban work, you load up your own shells and you actually husband your ordnance if you're a shotgunner. You figure you have a bag full of specialized rounds for like that house purpose, and then you have other extension rounds. Example, I want to reach farther out and I want to keep the pattern tighter. Know how to work your gun, people. Know how to work that gun. I mean, come on, it's just like the many different loads you have for your 30-06, 300 Win mag. If you know what everything does and you really have mastered the trade, as a shotgunner, you can tear him a new hind end, and you can choose the distance you want to tear that hind end at. So learn to use it. Now, somebody else would be going, well, but inside barrel, I want a shorty, blah, blah. No, you don't. You want to plan your defense, and you want to play, especially since you're mostly going to be in defense right now, you want to plan your defense. And so because of that, you want to ensure that you use maximum penetration, well, depending on where you're firing. I mean, you got to remember that, too. I've mentioned this many times, where you might want to use that splatter earlier load, that arcane load, because you don't want to shoot the guy in the next 2 rooms that's friendly because he's mounting a defense while you're, blocking the hallway where they kick through a back, couple sets of barrier doors. Notice I didn't say 1, because there's no room you can come into here where we don't have 2 doors you have to go through. And even that, the first door, you're going to have to take some time getting through the barrier 1. And even barrier 2 is pretty much the same, but the idea is that while you're doing that, you can bust through the first one. That's where we put it through the porthole, and boom, 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 and you don't make it to the second one. Pop, pop, boom, boom, goodbye. That's how everybody needs to be thinking about this. Go ahead, caller. Who do we have?
Hey, this is Carl in Virginia. I'd just like to add, if you have an interest in being forensically anonymous, shotgun's a good way to go. If you're using a shot, there's no rifling left on the projectile. Also,
you want to really be mean?
Slug gun. If you're using a slug gun with sabot rounds, again, there's no rifling left on the projectile.
You know where there's a cop range nearby? You have a police range nearby? Probably it's got to be shut down at some point. If you go in at night, you pull all the slugs out of the wall of the impact area of the pistol range, and you load up a shotgun shell with 40 caliber pellets, shot bullets, and you go boom. Well, whatever they do find is, who's that going to incriminate? And remember, we're not going to use the very obvious normal wad. The idea is to use a cardboard-based wad, and you stack them inside, and when they go down range inside an area, you got 4, 5, 6 pellets, depending on what it is, or 8 or 9, depending on the round you recovered, or rounds, and whose barrel pops up on the flag. See how that works? So, again, just ideas. I mean, like you said, since we might be concerned about who's going to be blamed for what, how about we point the blame in another direction? The bad guys do this all the time by lying. We'll provide them with information that really will kind of cross the numbers. And, again, jacketed slugs that are, impact, these soft point, hollow point, a lot of the stuff ends up not expanding or just filling with crud. Clean it up, of course, pay attention. And it doesn't have to be uniform or perfect for going inside the slug barrel, or should say, forgive me, going inside the shotgun shell. And then when you pull the trigger, however many pellets you got that match out your weight for spec, when it goes slamming down range into the target, it's also going to follow, well, I said earlier, path of least resistance. So it's going to really chew whatever it hits a really mean high, mean load, mean pattern. It's just going to be, wow, I've got to use a probe to find all those pellets. And in this case, slugs. Be kind of cool. So yes, very good point. It is for if you want to be more, let's see, not so obvious, then shotgun is an excellent way to go. And smoothbore, because there's so many different ways that you can couch the loads to create what looks to be something else in terms of performance as far as what it is that was used. And this is especially true when you're looking at crowd control. Another place where, wow, those pellets off that other range might be kind of handy to have, those bullets, 9mm, 40 caliber, whatever you find. And off especially only certain people can use range is really good. Only the special people with the black uniforms use this range. All those impact bullets would be kind of handy to have, and most people are really aloof and arrogant and lazy when it comes to government types, so chances are there's a lot of junk down there. Really useful junk, without recasting or anything. Just an idea. I prefer giving people, hopefully we're making the creative brain juices flow. That's really what we need. Now, before I go any farther, I would mention, because one of the things I brought up is Remington. And I was just curious, okay, let's see what we can find. What can we find in a way of a good buy for a Remington 870? There we go. Let's see, Remington 870. What can we run up? I'm just going over to Sportsman's Guide and see what they have on the shelf, if they even have anything in stock. And let's see, Remington 870 sold out. Remington 870 sold out. Remington 870. Wait a minute. I can start from the top. Remington 700 CDL bolt-action rifle, one variant available, $800. I don't know what caliber, what chambering it is. Remington 870 tactical pump, sold out. Remington 870 express pump action, sold out. Remington express pump action 20 gauge, sold out. 12 gauge 18.5-inch barrel, sold out. Remington express combo pump, sold out. Pink shotgun Remington, sold out. Remington camouflage variant, sold out. I'm talking 870s. This is all 870s. Sold out. Sold out. Well, hold on here. Let me do this. 1, 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, 870 variants, including one with a pistol grip, which is kind of cool, but not necessarily critical. It doesn't make any difference. They're not available. So they're already sold out. I was just curious. I was hoping I would be going, oh, well, maybe I can point you here. So let's look at someplace else. Let's go to Classic. Sportsman's Guide is sold out of all variants on the 870. Okay? So let's see what happens if we go to Classic Firearms, because they're classic, and they might have what I want. So let's see if I can find Remington 870. A lot of people are feeling the same way I am. Of course, they're also realizing that the collectability, here we go. And, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, there's lots of them listed. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. You're in luck, people. If you're looking for an 870, And mind you, okay, now the page is hiccuping, and I don't know why. Isn't this fascinating? Okay, it's real twitchy. I have no interest in your BS competition slash... Okay, there we go. It came back on where it belongs. Well, I'll tell you what. You can get a barrel, but as far as that goes, same situation. 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 21. Hold on, I'm going to see if there's some guns beyond the barrels. Nope. Well, hold on. Whoa, we might be in. No, we're not. They're sold out. Okay, they're sold out. They're sold out. They're sold out. Well, I'll tell you what. If you are looking for an 870, and you've been searching around and they told you that there wasn't an 870 available, I can tell you there is one model of 870 maybe available over at Classic Firearms. Remington Firearms, 870 Express, Deer Pump, 12 gauge, 20-inch, good gun, people. $389.72. Love the gun. It's got a slug barrel on it. Okay, in fact, an iron sight slug barrel, right? Express Deer Pump, 12 gauge. Here's what's nice. Remember, it's a shotgun. You can change the barrel. Now, they do have a 26-inch blue. Oh, no, it's a 20 gauge. For a slap mark in the microphone, I was going to send you the wrong place, and I won't do that. Not going to do that to you. Okay, I'm looking for another 12 gauge. Got a couple of them with cantilever. If you wanted a shot barrel to go along with that slug barrel, the Remington barrel, 12 gauge, 28-inch blued front bead, $186.58. There you go. There's some barrels. You're going to have to go look see what they have left in stock. I'd go the 28-inch. I think that'd be cool. That would be a good, although it's not what I was looking for in terms of choke. The 28, not too long, not too short, kind of a good medium. Otherwise, no 870 guns seem to be available from two of the bigger sources. Doesn't mean there isn't somebody laying around with some in a pawn shop here and there. But the 870 is, again, preferred. And with everybody hearing about Remington, everybody's snagging up what they can. I know what's going on. Plus, of course, everybody's getting ready for the next war, or the war that we're in, not next war, the war we're in right now. Now, again, I've mentioned this several times in long guns as far as the shotguns go. And by the way, whatever floats your boat. A lot of guys are going to magazine fed. Guys, when the Segas were under $200, I recommended them. When the Segas are $1,000 a piece, there's other guns you can buy a lot more of for less money. It appears that right now, and I would thank you to Randy out there. The Dickinson guns are out there in force for whatever weird reason. In this case, the Commando black poly stock looks like it's either a stainless or, it's a Marine Commando, so I would assume it's stainless. $250. Now, the stainless isn't real great tactical. You want to put some paint on it, which a lot of companies do anyway. But as far as, for any of you people out there on the coastal areas, I recommend if you can get a Marine model, buy it. Why? Well, you're in salt air. If you're on any of the lakes, water is not your friend for any of your weapons. So if you can get stainless, I've outfitted a lot of yachts. I've outfitted years ago when stainless first started coming to service. I outfitted a lot of ocean-going private boats that were going to head out for places unknown. And stainless, and stainless if at all possible. Now, in this case, $250, 18.5-inch barrel, 3-inch chamber, black poly stock, 12 gauge. It's a Dickinson XX3 BM2. And, nothing great. It's just your typical pump gun to write home about. Hey, guys, I got a pump shotgun. Congratulations.
Right.
So they're definitely out there. Go ahead, caller, jump in there, please.
Hey, this is BC. I just happened to catch you talking about one of my favorite shotguns there. I thought I'd help you out a little bit, and I went over to Bud's Guns, and they got a couple of Remingtons averaging from $1,200 to about maybe $800. I'd actually have one for $6, which is ridiculous when the when the 870 Express typically sells for like $260.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's the market press. See, this is the problem. Everything is kind of jacked right now, unfortunately. But it is, you know.
The least expensive shotgun that that Buds has is a Remington V3 Sport 12 gauge bird barrel 26 inch.
Now, now remember, are these competition guns? Because that's one of the reasons they're riding up into that range. There's
I would imagine that these V3s would be considered competition.
Yeah, that's why, again, as a field gun, not so much. But certainly, you're going to hit what you're pointed at, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Don't make a mistake about that. But, see, this is where we balance out where it's like, no, I wouldn't do $1,200 or a $1,000 gun for the average shooter anyway in a pump gun. Only because, and again, if you run into it 1100 or an 870, somebody's got for sale, and a local resource of some kind, they might have you. That's still the best way to go.
Well,
you can't really monkey up an 870. I mean, you have to make an effort.
Yeah. Well, some of these Remington V3 Sports that Buds has, one reason that they probably are a little pricey is because some of them have the factory camo patterns on them.
No, on top of that, yeah, which, here's the thing, this happened with Winchester, not Remington. When Winchester discontinued their single-shot shotgun line, I made a fortune on those. I really did. I found and was able to buy a lot of Mausers and other guns for cheap because the Winchester, well, they haven't made single-shot shotguns in decades now. But as soon as they stopped, everybody jacked the price. But if you were in the right place, where somebody wasn't up to speed, you could buy a lot of reasonably priced used Winchester single-shot guns for $35, $40 a piece. Well, those prices disappeared real quick as it caught up with everybody. The wave did, where they were $300, $400, $500, $600 guns all of a sudden. And I think that may be the other thing reflective. I played this thing about Remington early on in the program, and what's going to happen is the market's going to push the the interest away for a lot of people, because I can buy a lot of other American-made or at least American pattern shotguns for a lot less and outfit more people, which is the big thing. So I mean, there's Winchesters are in the 400 to 500 range for the Defenders and things like that. I'm looking right now while I'm talking, because there was actually a nice little package pump gun that's over at Classic, since I'm over here.
Don't waste your time looking at J&G sales. They don't seem to have any at all.
Yeah. Oh, no. The farther you go west, the guys, in fact, there's two problems. J&G sales and UN Ammo just got hit with they got to shut the state down again. Yeah. And so here they are at the peak of whatever they're doing, and the only option they have is to try and get out. I'm sure they're quietly getting a few people in there, and they're throwing the stuff out through UPS as quick as they can.
Did you know that Atlantic Firearms doesn't even sell shotguns?
They had, Atlantic had mag guns. It has like the Malat, whatever the latest Russian game gun is. Oh. But I haven't seen too much in the way of pump guns there, no. We'd have to go through, like I said, your best bet now, you're going to have to search like everything else. A lot of people turn to shotguns for a very good reason. Like I said, the movies condition everybody. Most anybody can figure out what a pump shotgun does.
You think Sarco would have any?
Sarco had some comp guns that came in from in fact, they might be Turkish. There were some Turkish pump guns that they had in there a little bit ago. They were utility, field grade. Looked like they had some bumps and bruises on the plastic. They were polymer stocks. So I would assume they're Middle Eastern or contract guns from South America, but there was some stuff over there. The big thing is, again, looking at Classic real quick before I go away from them. There's the Winchester SXP, but that's $500. And for an average person who needs to outfit, well, like we've always said, 2 or 3 people, well, they do have the Remington 870 Express Deer pump. If you guys have any spare barrels, if you're looking to still get an 870, they have that model in a 3-inch with a 20-inch barrel standard, which is a great gun. I would pick that up and run with that in a heartbeat for $389.72, but it is the last one they have in an 870 model. They don't have any others that they show, but it's still under $400. 12 gauge, 20-inch barrel, 3-inch mag, hardwood, Monte Carlo stock, iron sights, which are fine, and then you can pop that barrel off and throw another bird barrel on if you guys are listening and we're looking just to get another 870, but you're having a problem finding one. It's the last one at Classic, but it is on the front page when you go to Shotguns.
Well, I just checked out AIM. Everything they've got sold out.
Yeah, last night they had one of this, one of that, but right now AIM pretty well, in fact, on Privy Partisan ammo, you guys are going to have to be patient. They don't pull stuff, so when you go there, you got to go look to see what they have, for instance, in ammo. They changed, all these companies changed out their web pages. They had really good pages that actually did good inventory follow-up. They threw it all out. Somebody convinced them to change it because it's a product change out, so people are looking at stuff. I'm going to tell you what happens with me. I had this conversation earlier with somebody else who's getting frustrated. If I do 3 or 4 items or 5 items that I keep finding that you could have put out sold out right from the beginning, and I have to go through 4 or 5 minutes worth of process and then find out all gone, all gone, all gone, all gone. I'm not going to do that for very long. I got other things to do, as they say. So this is a big problem with a lot of these companies that they've gone to these goofy-ass pages that really are not beneficial to them. Somebody else asking about semi-autos. Guys, if you find a semi-auto that floats your boat, you love it. I love the 1100. I'll ride with it all day. I do have a whole bunch of the older Winchester 90 series guns that are tucked away because we got them because nobody cleaned them, and then we do is we get the gun because they said it's malfunctioning. I've mentioned this thing many times on the air. With a semi-auto shotgun, it's like 22s. People fire them until they just don't seem to want to work anymore, and then they want to get rid of them. And if you look, you'll find that, they might have wiped out the area around the bolt, right where your bolt opens up, but they don't disassemble the gun and clean it. And if you go in and clean it all out and, get rid of all the gunk, it's amazing how well a firearm will work.
Well, here you go. I went to gun.deals and entered shotguns and got a list. Kind of like, I guess, Gunbroker or something.
Right. That's where we're going to be turning. Those are personal. And a lot of those, here's the thing, as we know what happens, a lot of them, what they do is they're buying up this stuff that you're seeing here, and they're marketing it back out. Now, they don't have maybe enough money to buy 20 of them or whatever, but this is where part of the shift is taking place, and the shift up in cost is. It's a mix. Like I said, I'm just going through while we're talking. You're buying me a moment's time so I can do the Reader's Digest.
Sure.
What's left out there? Istanbul. Here's again, Turkish guns. These are all knockoffs of like 1100s or 870s, but $500 for a synthetic stock, camouflaged, Istanbul Şila. And Niels will say Istanbul. Okay, Turkey. These are these Turkish guns that came in. Only a couple of each gun, and they're at $500 a piece, but they're there. So would it be my first choice? No, I would pick American first, but remember that you're going to start seeing the rest of the U.S. inventory disappear and moving over towards whatever else is left. If they were $100, $110, I'd say, sure, grab a pile of them because they're great handout guns. Or one of the things that we've done, like we mentioned many times, load up a whole bunch of these shotguns and have them land side by side. You don't reload. You drop and pick up the next one. Have your loader, whoever it is that can't be shooting, recharging the guns, and you just keep hosing down. It's one of the many ways and tricks of the trade that people have used for years. Now, everybody goes, well, you're really emphasizing the shotgun. Well, I'm just emphasizing the shotgun because of the issue that we're facing here with Remington, and the 870 being the top end of that gun line. Now, I know people will say Brunelli, and I know all the other names, trust me, but for the average American, what do you understand? What's available parts-wise? Remington the 870 has been around so long that you have the advantage of almost 60 years' worth of inventory. There's barrels all over the place. I have cases of bolts. Just bolts, because cop shops wanted to change from a chrome bolt to a subdued bolt because they read a magazine article. So they took out, 150 or 200 shotgun bolts, brand new, and put in brand new some subdued bolts, which, by the way, then rusted. So then they were convinced to buy chrome brush bolts. So we got the other bolts that really didn't rust that much, but they read an article later after the first article. There was the second article. And so they read another article in the Cop Shop magazine, and they bought more with your tax dollars.
Brownells is totally sold out.
Yeah, I think right now America is kind of voting with its wallet, do you think?
Yep.
Do you think, BC, that America is pretty well fed up with what they're seeing that government's allowed to get away with?
Oh, yeah.
There's not a person I haven't run to that hasn't asked me off to the side every time I've gone someplace today and yesterday. I had to run out real quick. 3 people, 3 different points of the compass. You know where I can get any ammo? And it's like, didn't I tell you to buy a lot of ammo before? And then they look at their shoes, and they go, well, yeah. Well, but isn't there anywhere, like I'm supposed to be, like we do this all the time. I mean, BC, how long have we been doing this? Okay? Yeah. And guys, have I changed my tune?
Nope.
A lot of other Peckerwoods out there do. Oh, you don't need to buy anything. Everything's fine now. We're all good. No. Because when it's cheap is when you buy.
You buy when everything's fine.
Yeah, and that way it's like all the rest of these neat things. It's like, think about it. If you were buying the Chinese bird guns that we're talking about, bird and bunny guns, they were $100, $119 a piece. Guys, I don't even see those on the horizon anywhere. I don't even see them even listed on the pages that, might have something else, in place. They're gone. They're just vaporized.
Who were the only people that even offered those? And that was CDNN or Centerfire. It's had those foreign, cheap-ass shotguns.
Right.
And they're not even to be found anymore.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what? You just reminded me. There might be one option. And, guys, we brought this up. Of course, they were down in sale price. They might have over with our friends at Centerfire. Let's go to Centerfire for a minute here.
Well,
only because they have that.
Remember that had those old cheap.
Yeah, you just reminded me. Remember, they had the little magazine-fed SS-12s. I kind of think those might be gone.
But even if you can get one of them, Classic probably has the magazines for them.
Right. The only problem is that if you see them and you find them and the mags are right there with it, you better buy 4 mags for the gun right now, because whatever's it, like we've said before, what you got there is all that's left. And no. See, the one thing that I don't have a problem with anybody who bought magazine-fed shotguns. We discussed this many, many times. However, there's pluses and minuses with both weapons. One nice thing about a shotgun is no matter what, it at least is a single-shot boom toy. And when it gets to the point maybe where, maybe that's all you got, remember, here's my favorite little trick. Take your screw gun. Battery-powered screw guns are such wonderful tools. Take that wooden chair you got, put it over there and line it up with the door. Take the pump shotgun or the single-barrel shotgun, the best, or a double-barrel. Duct tape it to that door, to the chair you screwed to the floor. Grab yourself some fishing line. Make yourself a dowel with a chunk of broom handle or a piece of wood or whatever you got that's big enough so you can make a T. Wrap the other end of that string around, after you've taped up and wrapped around that fishing line around the trigger of that shotgun. Then have that pull point, and while you're fighting in one position, maybe you're on your own in a house and you got to defend more than one spot. Aiming towards a dominant window that's most likely going to get busted into with a double-barrel 12-gauge would be nice, or even a single-barrel shotgun. But again, make sure that the charge is a spreader. You need to be able to hose down the whole window. The same is true with doors. Although with doors, before they come busting through, put a slug back down, through the door. Just make sure you line it up low. Remember, we've always said low in groin area, not high in head, low in groin. That way, when they try to duck, it rakes through either legs or their chest or their head or whatever it hits. And the idea is it looks like you got more than one shooter inside. This creates confusion. They thought you were on your own. Or they thought maybe, in fact, here's a neat trick. Put one up on the second floor. Take the same, item, take a 22, aim it towards a dominant area of interest. Lock it down with duct tape. Make sure you screw down the chair so it can't move or whatever you're going to use. Run the line down with little eyelets going down to the first floor where you're defending and keeping the doors safe. Every once in a while, pew, 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 pew from the second floor while you fire on the first floor at the same time. You can't be in two places.
Centerfire has a smattering of super expensive to medium expensive.
Yeah. Hey, if you want a TriStar trap gun, almost $2,000.
Yeah.
They definitely have those still in stock. Okay.
Well, of course they got the CZ Sterling too.
Yeah, everything in the but again, they do list quite a few, and you might find something if you go through patiently. You might find what you're looking for, what we're discussing here, and again for maybe a reasonable price. The other thing here too is, well, again, I don't know about my biggest problem in mentioning Arizona is Arizona just got locked down again, and a lot of people are so pissed that they're getting ready to revolt there anyway. And so here we have the corona beer virus scam kicking back in. We've got Antifa burning places down and murdering Americans. Government watching them murder Americans and more than happy to let it happen. Oh, they finally went into Chadistan, Chump, Mump, Chunk, Punk. I don't care what the name of the stupid place was that they declared. But the only reason that the commies got up off their dead ass about anything in Seattle is because they went to the chief commie mayor's house. Oh, how dare you! Now, up until that point, that mayor didn't care about any of those people in that neighborhood, and they still don't. So, one commie, as far as supporting the other, no, they weren't there to take care of any. They were there to, again, take care of themselves. So the moment that the Seattle mayor had them showing up at her doorstep because of their arrogance, if they hadn't done that, which, of course, that was the excuse that was used, is, well, they peed in her pool. Oh, how dare you? And then they decide they're going to, bust the place up now. Well, otherwise, the commies had no problem with it, and the cops didn't either, and the cops weren't doing anything about it. You're on your own. Now, when the royalty had their toes stepped on, then the royalty did something. You ain't royalty. You see the attitude of the commies / the royalists. I've told you a million times, there ain't a dime's worth of difference between a monarchist and a communist. They're the same stinking BS. One point or another, times change, but the basic, mental attitude of the swine that have always been our enemy hasn't changed at all. And again, you're just property of the state, and you're a producer. Ergo, they hate you. The commies hate you, and look at you as nothing but something to parasite off from. And the same is true with the monarchists. They're the same pack, all with the same mentality. You're property of the state, but only when it comes to being productive. We got another caller. Who do we have?
This is BC still.
Oh, go ahead, BC. Jump in there.
Yeah, I can get you a Mosin Nagant for $85.79.
Whoa, where?
ClearviewInvestment.com.
Clearview
Invest.
Now, is anybody still carrying any ammo?
Oh, I don't know. You can at least use the thing for a club.
Clearview Invest?
Yeah. ClearviewInvest.com. It's Clearview Investments Incorporated. ClearviewInvest.com. Right there on the main page. I don't know if they still have them or not.
Well, that would be the key. Okay, here we go. It's working. Everything's been sluggish today. Here we go. Clearview Investments. It's time for a vacation. Wait a minute. They'll be closed from the 26th to July 6th.
No.
Even if they have them, we can't get them.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't see anything about closing.
It's right there at the top. There's in the scroll when you go to the first scroll. Okay, I'm going to go. There we go. It's time for vacation. We'll be closed June 26th to July 6th.
Oh,
this is the worst possible time they could be going anywhere.
Yeah, what a bunch of... They're probably a socialist-run gun club.
Dingleberries.
Yeah.
What it is, by the way, that is a good buy. It's stocks. It's not the rifle.
Oh, no, they showed a picture of the rifle. I got suckered.
I know, because it's also a carbine. It's the Model 44 carbine.
That's about as exasperating as the people that don't update their charts and you think you got something until you go to check out.
Well, they do have lots of stocks and parts. So if you're looking for stocks and parts and goodies, guys, Clearview Investments. However, let's see what they have. Maybe they have something. Oh, wait a minute, firearms. Let's find their firearms page.
Well,
it doesn't make any difference, guys. They're on vacation.
Yeah.
Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, really? Oh, really? Well, there's something interesting on the page. Oh, it's a dummy. It says it's a dummy. Does not have. I know it doesn't have the original barrel or receiver, but I'm very curious about the tube that the fake receiver is made out of. Anyway, for $76.49, with many original parts, they have a CZ2426 quote-unquote display gun. I would be curious about that. But anyway, just that's a sidebar. They don't have much in the way of firearms. So, in fact, they don't really. I just went to firearms, and it offers nothing that is a firearm. That's rather fascinating. So we'll have to take more time off the air and go through and see what all they do have available. Clearview Investments, clearviewinvest.com, clearviewinvest.com. But they are out to lunch right now, unfortunately. So that is another situation. But they do have SKS stocks. These are the fiberglass tropical stocks for $84.99. For you guys, if you don't know, they call those parade stocks. They're not. They're actually a tropical jungle stock. These are rare jungle stocks, unissued. Yeah, a bunch of our SKSs all came with those on them during the middle years, and they were $56 a piece. Everybody took advantage of those. So anyway, next, with regard to the issue... Oh, wait a minute. How about next we do this? We are past the top. We are at 6:02. It is time for a break. We are going to take a break here. And in the meanwhile, I can dig up a few other ideas and points on the compass as far as location. But this isn't looking good. Everything that's left, as we have said, we're into the cycle now where most everything that's left is grossly high-priced. If you're coming late, sadly enough, that's where you are. You're going to end up have to spend more to try and find something that you can carry as a hand cannon. And you're also going to be looking for, well, you're looking at a lot more in expense if there's something in the inventory. Even if it was cheap before, they aren't cheap now. Okay, just that simple. But there are a few interesting ideas out there. So we'll see what we can do to come up with something that does make sense for those of you that are just trying to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. And we should be hearing the music. We are at the top. And it is time for the top of the hour break. And I'm thinking we should... Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Just libertytreeradio.4mg.com. If you'd like to donate, don't forget, guys, we have a donate key. www.libertytreeradio.4mg.com. There's a donate key right in the middle at the top, and there is one on the right-hand side over in the little inventory there. Anything you can do to help, we have upgrade technology that we are working on right now. We are trying to expand and open up the different nodes that we do have. Ed's been working on YouTube simply because we have one of our other allies wanting to work on YouTube. So that in of itself has opened up another option for listening in during the day. So don't forget that if you go to our libertytreeradio.4mg.com page, we have several different options for hooking up. I know we have virtually overrun a couple of the services, and we are full, and we are at capacity during the programming here. That's expected. That's something that happens. Now, again, Ed can also use help with additional archiving. We do have some other unique work we're actually adding, or a system we're adding that may deal with that, but it's still going to take a few days for that to hook up. In the meantime, if somebody has any other unique ideas, you can drop over there into the disk and talk with Ed if you have anything in the way of an idea that's something you may have discovered that works better. Yeah, somebody's just asking, what about the 22 pistols if all else fails? Yeah, actually, the Heritage Rough Rider small bore 22 long rifle revolvers are $120 a piece, plus or minus. They're good guns. Everybody's used them, has been happy with them. I haven't had anybody here that's got one that complains, well, it's only a 22. Well, aim for the crotch or aim for the noggin, but put a bullet in them, because most important is, again, when you go to the hand cannon, it's because something happened to your primary rifle or you're having to fight to get to it. Any contribution is better than harsh language and throwing rocks. And pew, pew, pew is better than bark, 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 okay, as far as you barking like a dog.
I sure wouldn't want to get hit even by 22.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, with many of the 22s, there's a Smith Model 41. Somebody's saying, oh, my grandfather gave me a Smith 41. If he did, say thank you, Lord, hug him really tight, don't hurt him. But Smith & Wesson Model 41 competition range master, I'll give me that pistol all day. They're outrageously priced right now. If you have a 41 Smith, I would carry that as a gun, as a handgun as needed, but as a tack driver. I'll put 5 rounds on your hind end in 3 seconds, and that group will be the size of a dime at 50 yards comfortably. I was actually, the gun that I was using for national match competition was a Smith Model 41, government range master. And it was a beautifully tuned firearm. I wouldn't hesitate. If that's what you've got, don't you dare get rid of it. You can't replace it. If you've inherited a gun like that, Smith & Wesson Model 41 rimfire, that is a phenomenal pistol. That weapon will do anything. It's the shooter. If there's anything going on with that, it can't hit anything. That's you, the shooter. That gun is almost impossible to do damage to. You can still bust it up, I guess, yeah. But it's an excellent firearm. Anyway, we are at the top. We should be hearing the music. And, in fact, we're past the top, headed into the next hour. And I can only assume that I'm actually up on the air. I might be in limbo somewhere else. With the goofy system the way it is now, who knows anymore. Another thing very quickly is that I will warn you, a lot of what you're going to see now are whatever pickup or whatever last inventory guns a lot of these companies have. We just mentioned centerfire. Oh, come on. And with centerfire, a lot of the weapons that they're showing you they're like rack weapons from the shop, from in the shop. There may only be one, okay? That's why I'm noticing the prices and the types of guns that they're listing. What they're listing is basically the shelf pattern guns that come from trade-ins, again, regular gun shop deals. So in some you might find multiples, most probably not. And again, one of the other considerations here, in fact, I'm not seeing high points anywhere, which I think is rather fascinating. So again, for those of you out there, if you are looking at any of the 45s, I would point out that if you're trying to buy into a 45 right now, you better go look at ammunition. May not even be available. I'm serious. Now, I will make note, if you already got the 1911 or something like that in service, you're fine. But otherwise, you're screwed. Okay, I don't really see a whole lot of any inventory out there. In fact, I'm going to go look. Let's see what Ammoman.com is, needless to say, one of those staple standby, everybody's been going to companies. And in 45 automatic, they have, individual 50-round boxes, 20-round boxes, and that's it. You can buy a 20-round box for $21, 20-round box of Federal for $21 for 45 premium HydroShock 165 grain, or individual boxes, Federal HST 230 grain jacketed hollow point 45, which may or may not work in your weapon. I'm going to remind you of that. 50-round boxes of 45 PMC 185 grain jacketed hollow point, $35 a box for PMC. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing left. Now, another one is in 9mm. There are some bundles, and you still can find, not much. They do have, over at Ammoman, they do have 9mm Luger Tula, 115 grain FMJ. I'd buy that. $330 for 1,000 rounds. That is including shipped price, or should be, unless Ammoman has changed anything, because the price they quote is the shipped price. So that is an option. Otherwise, there are some 50-round and 200-count bundles, and that's it. So right now, it looks like the Tull ammo, I like to call it like Jethro Tull, I always joke about that. Tull ammo, it's Tull ammo brand. Yeah, Tull ammo. 9mm Luger, Tula, 115 grain, FMJ, 1,000 rounds, $330. They do have it in stock. I do not know how much they have, but I'm going to find out. Maybe they'll post it. Sometimes they do. 9 cases left. Whoever gets there first, of anybody who's listening, 9mm Luger, Tula, 115 grain, FMJ, 1,000 rounds. They have 9 cases left, and that is over at ammoman.com. Now, one of the other companies that I was in contact with today said, don't even bother asking about ammo. I actually called because I was talking to somebody who said, before we go any farther, save you some time. If you're looking for ammo, we're gone. There's nothing left. In other words, what little they have is probably in-house for their own use now, and that's it. But that's going to be true for a lot of the companies you're dealing with now. UN Ammo, I'm going to check, because UN Ammo may be offline.
Hey, Mark.
Go ahead, caller, jump in there, please.
Hey, this is Carl in Virginia again. Real quick question. That Turkish Mauser you were talking about, I guess it was yesterday,
yes.
Is that 8mm rimmed or 8mm?
Oh, no, it's 8mm Mauser. It's actually 7.92 by 57. What it is over at centerfiresystems.com, if it's still available. And, as it is, real quick, for UN Ammo, before we go any farther, they're offline. They're telling everybody right there, if you go to their page, you can read what they say. They're hoping they'll be back up and online within a week or longer, but it depends on how things go. But right now, there's nothing that they're posting on their page. Everything's scrunched down. So UN Ammo is not an option. UN Ammo is not an option. Now, if you go to Centerfire, that is a model 1893 Mauser. You have to search the system, but I have found that a couple of companies had Zytel stocks for this gun. It is a barreled action that is complete. So it is a firearm, but it is a pre-1898 gun. Originally, it was chambered as a contract gun in 7.65 Mauser. What they did is they converted them over probably at the end of World War II, because it could have been before, at the very beginning or end, but they converted them over to 8mm because of the preponderance of 8mm out there. 7.65 Argentine, or 7.65 Mauser, as it's known, is not very common in surplus. But in 8mm, if you look around, you can still find, maybe right now, there is some ball ammunition that's surplus that just came in from Ethiopia. A couple different companies are carrying it. I don't know who's got it in stock right now. That would be the cheapest. And the Ethiopian stuff is designed to probably be used in pretty much all of the older Mausers. It would be mid-grade charge. It should be a 200-grain bullet. But a lot of the surplus stuff that's out there right now, like the Romanian, is a 150-grain bullet. So you're probably not pushing any extreme cut pressure there. It will be, going down range maybe a hair faster, being a much lighter bullet. But that depends on the specs. And remember, they try to load the guns up so that the sights will line up with, the charge and the bullet line up with the existing military spec sights on the guns that they're marketing it for, or that they were building it for. So these are good weapons. There used to be $19.95 a piece, $16.95 for the crack stock models. These have no stock, $150 a piece, no FFL. You can order them wherever, whatever the list says, you can, wherever you can, other than where they list at the article, the advertisement at centerfiresystems.com, centerfiresystems.com, centerfiresystems.com. So for everybody out there, then go and look for Turkish Mauser. And they are collectible. There aren't going to be any more. I mean, these are the last of the, these are the latest of the last of the eke-outs, but they haven't built them for, 100 years and more. So what's out there is it. But they are a good service backup or berry rifle, like we did for the longest time, and made it work just fine. They worked for us. They worked quite well. In fact, there's going to be about 200 of you that might be handed one of these rifles because we put a lot of them away. I did. I've got them stacked in different locations around the state here in Cosmoline. And they will be, obviously, looks like sooner rather than later, we're heading towards whatever we're heading towards, so those pods will be used when the time comes, along with many others. I'm looking while I'm talking, and we are, of course, into the second hour. Real quick, this is Libertytreeradio.4mg.com. It is 6:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is Weapons Wednesday. It is the 1st of July. It is the 12th year of Open Fabian Socialist and Soviet Socialist Occupation of America with a K. 2020 Old Earth Calendar, 2020 Year of the Dance of Swords. It begins. Congratulations. You're going to be part of the war effort. Well, if you choose to be. I would recommend it. Otherwise, you're going to be sucking vapors, and neither side's going to like you too much. I'm going to play neutral. Well, then piss on you. Let's see. Otherwise, well, there's one other option here. As was mentioned earlier, AIM Surplus, you guys could patiently go through to see what they have, but AIM Surplus is pretty well consumed by what we can see. I don't think that they're going to, whatever they got is not going to last much longer, so you want to check, see what you can find, go through and look at, aimsurplus.com. Again, that's aimsurplus.com, AIM-surplus.com. Actually, let's go back to Centerfire. I'm bouncing all over the place, but people are asking questions here while we're doing the program, and it is Weapons Wednesday, so I'll see what we can do. With regard to 22 has not been cheap for quite some time, not for a few years now. They've never recovered from, the prices have never gotten back to where they were before the last munitions shortage. In this case, everybody's getting ready not to hide away or stash away ammo. They're looking to use ammo. So what's happening is you're now seeing the combat load consumption that I warned everybody about time and time and time again to expect this. Now, this is why whenever you do anything, if this ever were to level out again, and I think we're finished on that. I don't think we're really going to see any more of the, we'll go back to the good old days. That ain't going to happen. We're going to see the slope off and lack of re-inventory in any good numbers now. And then you're going to see blocking of, in fact, it's already probably happening. We just won't hear about it. Trump's administration is probably, through his swamp people that are all part of his government, are already retarding or blocking whatever it is that's coming in. The next wave is going to be you putting bullets in enemy combatants, be they secret police here, military they send out to confiscate guns, foreign and UN, that they're going to be the mobile resupply pods you look at next. So that's where you're going to be looking at your tactical combat inventory. Use what the enemy has. However, we do have a phenomenal / vast inventory of material on our side, and so we're going to be shooting them pretty much everything and anything at our discretion. Heavy up to 50 caliber, all the way down to 22 and everything in between. And we have tons and tons and pallets and pallets and pallets of it waiting, and now it's going to be used. With that being the case, all the military calibers will go into service. All of the old ones too. Go ahead, jump in there, caller.
Yes, I got a deal that I've ran across, and I've been waiting for Weapons Wednesday to share it with you. There are some polymer stripped upper receivers available, small quantity for $23.05. These are the ATI Omni Hybrid AR-15 upper receivers in polymer. Some people love them, some people hate them, but the price is ridiculously low. Most people are getting somewhere between $30 and $35 for them. These are still available and still priced for $23.05. There's still, I think it's 26 of them in stock.
What's the web page? Go ahead and give it out 3 times before we go any further.
Okay, the web page is redriverreloading.com. That is redriverreloading.com. What you have to do, when you go to that web page, redriverreloading.com, these are kind of hard to find. What you do is you go, when the page pops up, there'll be a series of where it says home, firearms, ammo, reloading, and shooting, optics, parts, and supplies. Just go there and put your cursor arrow on the shooting, bring it down to where it says AR-15, AR-308 parts, and then slide over to another box where it says upper receivers and parts. Click on that, and what that will do is take you to the page where their upper parts are. And for me, it's in the upper line, and it's the ATI Omni Hybrid AR-15 strip polymer upper receivers.
That is a steal if they actually have those.
Well, there's 20. Well, yesterday they was 35. When I clicked on, and when your show started at 4 o'clock, they were 26, and they're down to 24.
24. I'm looking at it right now. You know what? Had I known these were here before, guys, between a polymer lower and upper, for any of you who are looking to make an ultralight aircraft gun for, to carry in the plane, this is the solution. You're looking at a 5-pound rifle if you do it right. You go with a pencil barrel. In fact, look for the cheapest, least popular barrel right now, which is, I don't know what's out there now, to be quite honest. We're going to have to search. But for the price, well, of course, they're looking at $23.05. And this product is known to the state of California to cause cancer, birth defects, or other reproductive harm. Did you read the warning?
Yes, I read the warning.
Very good. I love people with a sense of humor. That's my kind of coffin humor right there. Yeah, it is. It's going to be definitely causing birth defects and enemy combatants real quick. Basically,
for $23.05, you can't even buy a billet for that. I mean, a block of aluminum for that right now.
No, in fact, to be quite honest, guys, for building backup or cash guns, this is fine. The biggest thing is, again, finding all the other tidbits, put everything where it belongs. But
you have more chance if you're going to build, Mark. If you're going to build a 16-inch carbine off of that, you still have a chance to pick up little bits and pieces. Now, if you want to go all plastic, now a lot of people, there's a company called API that actually makes an all polymer gun. Okay, polymer upper, polymer lower. Some people love them, some people hate them. They're very lightweight. Now, EPArmory.com still has a buy two get one free polymer receiver deal. It says it's in stock for $60. So you get you buy two for $60 and they give you a third one for free. That's $20 a piece. Now EP Armory, they're the company that has the little $3.99 Armory sticker jig. Now they also have a low-cost aluminum jig for $89 that's in stock. They do have a tooling kit, but it's $20. That's a hell of a price for that because you get the drill bit and you get the end mill. It's a high-demand product, and I don't know what they've got in stock or don't have in stock. But a polymer upper from redriverreloading.com. It's ATI product, and you have to. The only way I've ever been able to find it is by going in, like I said, where the top links are, and you put on where it says shooting supplies, and you click on that, drop down, and go to the parts section. That's the only way I've been able to find it. But $23.05. EP Armory still has those plastic uppers. They've also got a jig in stock. I mean, that's the best deal out there. The only other deal that I'm aware of for ammo, C.H. Cadell's had a sale yesterday, and I hope it's still on today. 9mm Tula, steel case Tula, 50 rounds, $15 for those that can buy in the mail. CHCadells.com also had an AR-15 polymer 80% lower with a jig and everything for that for $84 yesterday. That's the only deals out there that I'm aware of. Mark?
I'll tell you what, again, this for everybody out there, write down the information and make sure you have it in hand. For these uppers, now, they're showing this with the forward assist inserted in place. Shows the dust cover attached, but they're saying strips. And what level of strip are we talking about? Look,
well, I think it's stripped. I think it's just the picture that they shown.
Which is correct. Okay, if those parts are on board, I have to look. We'll have to find out. To be quite honest, I'm going to tell you something. To knock down a little more weight, dust cover is not critical, guys. You know, there's parts that are, even with an AR-15, if you're going to do a Sturmgewehr type slash Fallschirmjäger gun, an airweight gun for aircraft, a lot of stuff can be eliminated. Hell, you don't really need the forward assist, although again, it's useful, but it's going to have the forward assist channel. You might as well have the forward assist in it. Okay, think about it that way. So you might as well keep everything on board that's there, because you're only shaving off tenths of an ounce. And those, I mean, it does add up. Anything adds up. But we're looking at making a polymer gun. Should be able to do it at about 5 pounds for the basic weapon without optics. Seriously. That's one of the things that makes this the selling feature, and why the government bought several thousand of these guns back in the 90s when nobody knew what a polymer AR-15 was. The biggest contractor first was with CIA and with other agencies, and they bought a ton of these things. In fact, the guy, I used to sit next to the guy. We had long conversations about this because he brought them to the Preparedness Expo. And he had the second wave when it came out for public sale. At one point, these guns were $1,200 a piece. 5-pound polymer AR-15 with a 16-inch M4 barrel was $1,200. And what was the primary contractor? He would tell you. He goes, well, my first contract is U.S. government. And he goes, this is the first time I've sold public. They didn't want anybody to have these.
Well,
in
Mark,
fact, they restricted him almost as soon as he put them online. And that's 30 years ago, 20-some years ago. Go ahead, jump in there.
Yeah, excuse me. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Anyhow, CDNN Sports, they have an M4 carbine handguard. Some of them are insulated, some are not, between $5 and $7 in stock. So that's your handguard. The upper parts kit, cdnnsports.com. What I do is I type in AR-15 parts in searching. They have the AR-15 parts kit for the forward assist and the door for $25. You know, that's higher than it used to be, but you know, if you're going to pay if you're going to play the shipping game, you know, pick up a couple carbine handguards for $5 or $6. You got different types, and then just start going through and picking up your gas tube, picking up your gas block, and just start slowly picking up the things that you need here real quick. Because I think cdnnsports.com also has a Delta ring, and I know they got the end cap for $4. But they used to have a kit for basically installing your little handguard, so you can start to pick up things really quick to build a super ultra lightweight carbine if that's what a person wants to do.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, and for everybody out there, again, if you're wondering, these are polymer. We're talking about a polymer upper. They do have stripped upper receiver blanks for $46.15, the same location. That's at, again, redriverreloading.com, redriverreloading.com, redriverreloading.com. But you're looking at the polymer for half that price. In other words, $46.15 for a strip standard, but you're looking at $23.05 for a stripped polymer. So just a heads up on that. And for what we're talking about, that makes that the cheapest. I think that's still the cheapest upper right now in the country. You're going to buy for for that price. Those 26 uppers, 24 now, are it. there isn't anything that cheap anywhere that I've seen. In fact, here's the problem. The Vietnam era stuff that used to be cheap is now collectible classic, and so that stuff is often stellar land, and everything else is catch as catch can. The other thing here too, and I didn't look to see if what Red River has in the way of barrels, because again, if you're looking at trying to build up an AR right now, remember it doesn't have to be the cat's meow latest greatest preferred. Remember that you're looking for a 5.56 barrel in something that is going to be slapped onto that receiver. I prefer something 16 inches or longer. Hey, people are building pistols and all the other stuff right now and not even caring. So, and I think the Fed's going to have a problem because I think, well, of course, once we're shooting each other, rules are all gone. Okay, it's just that simple. So my preference, try to do a 16-inch barrel, but it does not have to be a heavy barrel. In fact, the lighter the barrel for especially an aircraft gun or a grandma gun or for one of the kids, for your children, this was one of the things I promoted the polymer for the longest time is, no, it's not going to be a main battle rifle. It's going to be doing tens of thousands of rounds. But if you're looking at giving somebody a standard arm, you can put a decent weapon together for a very reasonable price, and you're also knocking the weight way down, and they're growing into the gun, kind of like the difference between those 870 12-gauge guns and the 870 youth gun they used to offer, which most of you may or may not remember. And again, the idea is that you grow into the design and you stick with the pattern, but you've developed all of this long-term muscle and action memory, which is especially critical to improve performance. So they can grow into it.
Yeah, the $23.05 price is just stupid, ridiculous cheap. There's a limited quantity of them. It's at RedRiverReloading.com. And like I said, Mark, the only way that I've been able to ever find these things is I have to go to the page, RedRiverReloading.com, slide over to where it says shooting at the top of the page. I drop down with my cursor to the AR-15 308 parts, and then I slide over to the upper receivers and parts, and that's how I find it. But this is a stupid price, $23.05. Everybody else gets $35 to $38, but $23.05. It still says there's 24 in stock. Wow, it's just a hell of a price. Well, Mark, that's all I have for you today, and I thank you for taking my call.
Appreciate it. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Now, hopefully those 24 guys, we're going to get them. I recommend them. Again, if you're looking at building more ARs, and right now you're going to have to jump all over the place for parts, this is a way to build 24 additional weapons. Whoever gets there first, hint, 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 because guess what? When I get off the air, it's going to be first come, first grab them. Okay? It's just that simple. The big thing here, again, is then looking for barrels. And one of the other options, of course, it's already thrown out the window as of yesterday. We were looking to see what we could find in the way of any other odds and end barrels that might be out there. And Palmetto, of course, is catch as catch can. Right now, it's a roller coaster for them. Bear Creek Arsenal, same situation. I already talked to them yesterday, as a matter of fact, and they're giving it all she's got, Captain. But you know what? You can't even come near keeping up. Everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody's got the attitude is grim. Everybody, and it's cool as far as I'm concerned. It's fine by me. Everybody's pretty well sees the writing on the wall. We're not coming out of this thing, well, unless we shoot the bastards. And pretty much everybody is now of the opinion, time to shoot the bastards. So everybody's in motion to get ready to do that. The big thing here again with regard to building from scratch is that some of the little trinket parts, it's not the big stuff necessarily going to slow you down. It's some of the little trinket parts that are becoming tougher to acquire when you're looking at baseline, from scratch, putting everything together. Gas tubes, for instance, are something that, well, I wanted to go out and build a shorter barrel. You might do a shorty barrel model, but gas tubes, simple item, stupid price item usually, may or may not be available. That's where you're going to have to balance out why you pick a certain caliber or a certain package, in order to make that AR-15 upper receiver and lower receiver work. if you're able to access something. Just a reminder again, there's a lot of stuff going on like this out here in general. We're going to have to deal with. Parts and inventories are down. Somebody's asking me, well, what about like a 223 Wild? Well, of course, 223 Wild, 556 NATO. The 223 Wild is actually the perfect choice, simply because, again, and they do have some. They didn't have them yesterday, but today they've got some 1 8 twist carbine length gas system barrel 223 Wild, $96.99 a piece. They do have them in stock. They show that you can add them to the cart. They also have some NATO 556. Those are $104. And let's see if they have anything else they've added. There's not much, but there is some there. Ooh, let's do it this way. There we go. Now I'm going where I was planning on going. As it is, again, personal flavor choice on your part. Somebody's asking me, well, pistol, I'd go preferably carbine or a long barrel, but there aren't any really long barrel anything out there in terms of something off the shelf. A lot of 10.5, which is pistol length. I'm not excited about that, but like I told you, when we get up to the other end of this, in terms of what's available, you're going to probably be looking seriously at whatever you can find to find a barrel to put on a receiver to get it on top of the lower receiver you built. If you're going to do the pistol, put them off to the side. Here's the thing, put all the assembly off the side, move it completely away from everything that you own, stash it somewhere where only you know where it is. If you're going to do that, for now, because remember, the secret police are still going to kick in. In the confusion of what's going on, the bat faggots will be coming out to harass people every way that they can. That's intentional. Remember, the feds are tied right into Antifa. The feds are tied right into what the communists are up to. The feds are the communists. As long as you understand that, you're doing just fine. Anybody making any other stupid mistake, don't whine to me later about what it is you're shocked and amazed at when it happens. Yes, as a matter of fact, they do have a 556 NATO 16-inch park-rise M4 barrel, 1 7 twist, mid-length. Now here's the problem: mid-length gas system. Look at that, $83 for the barrel, a little cheaper. However, it's mid-length gas system. You're going to have to find the gas tube, and remember, you're still going to have to fit the barrel to this, and they have to have the proper length gas tube for the mid-length system. It's not a problem if it's out there. If it's not, well, then we'll see. So you have to shop around, and you're going to have to be looking at, again, trinket parts top to bottom. Full assembly uppers or polymer uppers, there's no guarantee that you're going to find necessarily what we're talking about in any good quantity. Yeah, thank you very much. 7.62 by 39. Yes, they do have a few. Again, how much 7.62 ammunition is out there at this moment in time for you new shooters coming in or somebody building more up? You're wise. You took advantage. Remember when the barrels, I'm going to jab everybody in the ear with this. I told you when the barrels were down to $23, $35, $56 a piece, buy them simply because they're an investment. You do realize that same barrel is now $120, $130, and $150 barrel that you could have bought for $29.95. You could market it for $100 comfortably, make a good turnaround. Of course, the problem is, can you replace it with something that you wanted? No, probably not. So here again, this is that quandary when you're into the edge of the battlefield like this, where there's no guarantee you're going to find what you want when the time comes. So you're probably going to get stuck with what you did invest in, and it's a balance of, I got friends I need to outfit. Do I have allies that need to be armed up? What about family members? Big thing is other family members that you like. Not the ones you don't. Don't worry about them. Piss on them. The big thing here again is square everything away accordingly. Now, Palmetto, and as a matter of fact, yes, I understand. Some people are like, man, Palmetto's had some problems. Guys, all these people are swamped. That's one of the things where they may have given you a quote even 2 days ago. And in that time, the world has changed yet again, because everybody sees the writing on the wall. We have, of course, PalmettoStarMarie.com. We have Chelsea, Michigan. Tomorrow, the Antifa are supposed to be there approximately 6 o'clock. We'll figure they'll be there sooner. 6 p.m. tomorrow. They're going to be in Chelsea, Michigan, supposedly to seek revenge, attack, murder, rape, kill, pillage, and burn, blah, 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 blah. You know, a peaceful protest. Well, no, that's not what they're saying in all of their sphere of communiques that we're seeing. Trying to bring in Detroit thugs and Ypsilanti thugs to go rape, kill, pillage, and burn over in Chelsea, Michigan, which is, of course, a county and a half away from Detroit, but they're trying to pull in what they can to do damage from whatever direction. We'll see how that works. We do have militia units and, of course, a number of other organizations that have already stepped forward. I do have to mention again for the second hour here, guys, if you are listening and you're with the 8th Regimental Combat Team and you're with the advanced detachments that are in Hillsdale, you will not be moving. We have to assume we already have other detachments that are going to be available. In fact, I've got a Michigan Militia at Large reconnaissance/fast attack component mechanized. We got a whole bunch of these FMC fast attack vehicles when they came out that were prototyped. We knocked off a few more with parts. We have a couple that are in the garage, but most of them are all going to be mobilized for this thing to block escape of whatever comes in. Remember, we're hunting for management on this. We're going to be using all of our radio detection, our radio monitoring technology, electronic countermeasures. We are going to be hunting for enemy management in this FTX. Oh, it's a deployment on their part. This is good training for all of you. So everybody out there that's listening, we got a lot of work to do. Frequency counters, all of the area. Actually, what's really cool, the area of Chelsea that they chose for this, we have a lot of signal communications people who are already, pissed at what they see. These people are very adept, and our ham operators or our other operators have been working for 40, 50 years in electronics and communications. They're plugging in. We're going to be monitoring all the 800 meg battle frequency. We identify enemy threat frequencies. We're going to be pegging those phones, the whole 9 yards. So this is going to be all stops pulled out, and we're watching for government to come in and help out Antifa, because that's all they're going to be good for. State police will side with Antifa. Feds will side with Antifa. Expect them to be helping when Antifa rapes, kills, pillage, and burns. They're there to protect and make sure their buddy, fellow government employee, Antifa, are protected. So that's going to happen. And everybody, that way, assume the worst, you won't be disappointed. Hey, you're on your own. Congratulations. Get over it. Another thing here, and I did get over to... Okay, well, I don't see anything that's jumping out and making me go wow. We are looking for barrels for the AR-15, and hopefully we've got some other deals. I'm going to let's see what all we can find, and it's not looking good, but then again, that's not a surprise. So for everybody out there, the kits for the AR-15s, I know, somebody just said, my God, Mark, the price. Yes, I told you, we're looking at Punkadunk pistol ARs for $600-700 now. Okay? $450 for a 10-inch when you could have had a 16-inch or a 20-inch AR for under $300 and $350. Remember? Under $300. And as I pointed out, it's catch as catch can. You might piece it together from part here, part there. But otherwise, you're looking at, $680 for a 20-inch. They do have them in stock. CHF rifle length 5.56 NATO 1-7 premium rifle kit, 20-inch. So it's basically an A3. It's got a flat top rather than a carry handle. Is $680. Yeah, I know. It was $300 cheaper before, and everybody thought that was expensive. It's $680. I know. No, there's some other comments like, those bastards. Like, no. Market's pressing this, guys. I told you this a million times. The market is pressing this. So, personal flavor choice, you figure out what it is that will work for you. In theory, they have these in stock. They do have the mid-length. No, correction. M4 carbine, $450. Yes, I know, that's $140 more than they were going for. And they do, in theory, have gray, black, and green in the stocks. I like the gray, I really do. The gray kind of works really well into the shadow, world of snow country when the time comes. You can throw some off-white in there and break it up really well in the field. Also, you can go with some tree bark green, which is a color we've had mixed here and in Michigan, and it really works well with the black and the gray. The gray plastic with a black rifle. You add the tree bark green as the other color. Oh, dudes, we're talking phenomenal. Well, actually, good point. There is a less expensive 20-inch, not premium, but Freedom rifle kit for only $520. Yeah, $520. Yeah, I know. That's what we've kind of warned you about. What's the surprise there? Yep. As a matter of fact, that's where it is. So take a look at what they got. See if anything they've got in the way of kits makes sense for you if you want to go that way. Of course, these have regular AR-15 aluminum upper receivers, charging handles, bolt carriers. That's everything for $450, $590. Take a pick. You'll figure out what the prices are. Now, we are still looking for barrels, and I'm probably going to spend the hour looking for 223 barrels, 5.56 barrels, because of what we just saw with those polymer receivers. And if the rest are 35, that's still a good price. And again, for a lot of you, a pound is a pound, weapons weight-wise. If you're older and you're looking at wanting to, use an AR for your support weapon, let me give an example. Our medical personnel, shaving the weight off of the gun while still carrying a standard AR-15 M16 pattern rifle is a good solution. It's not bad. I like the 9mm carbines. I've mentioned that a million times. There's a whole bunch of different ones out there, but they're simply not available right now either. High Point is probably doing the same thing they were doing before. They have probably gone to 100% production nonstop. I haven't talked to them in the last couple of weeks, so I'll probably give them a ring down there and say hi. But they have been cranking stuff out. The problem is getting it to where it needs to be, and they can only work so many hours. They couldn't fit any more machinery into the shops they have. That was one of the things about most of these companies. They literally are chocked with as many machines as possible to put production out, and there is no more room. They've mapped out and remapped out their production lines. They've done whatever they could, and they're at the limit on that. That's typical for a lot of these companies. So they don't want to go any farther because government is unreliable and you can't trust them. You got to figure that eventually government's going to be doing some wicked and evil things here soon to go after the guns. So they aren't going to spend any more on sites that they know are going to be targets. The other mission now is to go into the clandestine category, okay? Go into quiet production ready for wartime use, which is what everybody is doing right now. So, again, AR-15 barrels, if you guys want to help out, we're looking for a 16-inch cheapest barrel available, and quantities, because, as a matter of fact, very good. Yeah, I know. Somebody just said, Mark, everywhere I go it says out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. Yes, I'm looking right now at another one of the companies. As a matter of fact, go over to Classic Firearms, punch in AR-15, hammer forged barrel, 223-556, 18-inch rifle length, $326.92 just for the barrel. Everything else, they look like they're pretty much out of stock. Oh, wait a minute, no, they do have a 24-inch heavy profile 224 Valkyrie. Well, it's not in 556. I don't think we're going to be finding, we're too late in the game for a lot of it. Might end up that we're stuck with pistol length, unless you're willing to go with one of the bastard calibers. And again, I will point out, if you're looking at the bastard caliber, the biggest problem is going to be, is the ammunition even available? A lot of the people who have the bastard calibers, who now know that they're going to war, have gone out and done what I told you we should have been done months ago to get more production up. They've stripped out the ammunition inventory. 300 blackout, pretty well looks like it's gone. There might be a few puddles here and there. 6.5 Grendel, pretty well gone. Any of the Shrieker round, Shrieker types that are out there, these new Hot Shot custom 223 or 223 knockoff, or AR-15 variants are right now consumed. So that's not a surprise. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to, again, we're trying to find a solution. 6.5 Grendel, same thing. The biggest problem is there are a bunch of barrels for the 6.5 Grendel. The problem is ammunition. Anybody who's got it went out to buy combat level loads now. And so they've pretty well eaten up the inventory from that direction. One of the options, yes, is Gun Parts Corp, but the problem is that they are behind. They are still shipping, but they are way behind, and they've admitted it. They've already had discussions with a couple of people on that. They already know they're going to do what they can to keep up. But yeah, there are AR-15 barrels at Gun Parts Corp. Problem is, it'll be weeks out, maybe months out, if there's still the ability to do that. If things break out, say hostilities do develop, then shipping isn't going to be happening anymore. That's all finished. That world is gone. So just a heads up on that one. Not to panic anybody, it's just common sense. You need to be thinking, can I reach it? Can I get it in hand? Do I have it where I need it? Now, don't forget, you might even be lucky. I haven't really discussed this, but Cabela's, I have not looked to see what Cabela's has. But Cabela's has an extensive shooter shop. So if you have a Cabela's nearby, there's one in Dundee, Michigan. Thank you for reminding me of that. Cabela's does have an extensive shooter shop, and they might have some pulled barrels. They might have some inventory that's been traded. You know what? If I could find just a regular 16-inch or, like M4 upper, barrel assembly, or if I could find a 20-inch AR-15A1, I'd be going with them right now. I'd grab it if that's what they had available. In fact, to build a light rifle with a polymer, I'd love to find an M16A1/AR-15A1 barrel to pop on one of the polymers. It's a pencil barrel, it's lightweight, still get the 20 inches out of it, and I'd still keep the weapon down probably about 5 1/4 pounds. It makes for a very, very, very nice backup gun to fold up and make disappear into a backpack even. Another consideration with an M4 type AR is that you can put it into a rifle carry backpack. There's a bunch of those. I have about 9 of them. And you can load it up on board, and it's just a matter of bulk. It's not a matter of weight burden. In fact, it's insignificant by comparison. Now, one more thing. We've been touching on ammunition, weapons, and the lack of availability. But remember, Dollar Tree. Nope, they haven't got no guns. But Dollar Tree does have still the best price for canned goods, single meal items. And with the price of what MREs are right now, they're not worth turning to. MREs at $5, $6, $7, $10 for just a main course item. They've got these 12-count packs, but it's like $5 for one 13-ounce pouch or 11-ounce pouch. Wrong. You're better off taking your money right now and going over to Dollar Tree and buying the lima bean with, spice or hams. There's some nice ones there. Lima bean, 15-ounce can. Dumplings and chicken, 15-ounce can. All of these are $1 a piece. For what you're going to pay for 13 ounces of a MRE type pouch, you're looking at having pounds of food for the same $5. Guys, you got to be thinking ahead now. And a lot of the cans, now here's the thing, you have to pick and choose on this. A lot of the cans are zip cans now. You have the zip lid can. Most of the meats have that, not all of them, but most of them. Those are fine for field rations and perfect, but make sure you got a can opener. In fact, I got a right here. That's a church key made by Collinsware. And again, it's a can opener. It's a traditional pop can for, opening up like old beer cans. And it has the cap tab on the other end, the cap pop. I can open up a can with this breaker type, this claw type. It's just going to take me a few minutes longer, a few minutes, not even that, probably half a minute if I'm in motion. And I can open up the can and eat what's there. But it is a useful tool. Grab all of them you can. Go ahead, caller, jump in there, please.
Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt you here, but I know time is short. The cheapest price I have found on a 16-inch barrel is in 5.56 is Delta Team Tactical. They have a very exotic cryo-treated phosphate barrel for $84.99.
Delta Team Tactical?
DeltaTeamTactical.com. Yeah, .com. DeltaTeamTactical.com. $84.
There we go. Well, still, that's actually, if there's a couple other barrels hanging around out there that are either plus or minus, mostly plus, by another $10, $20. So that's really making it the best priced barrel that I've seen so far.
This is a very fancy barrel. Very, very fancy barrel. It's a cryo-treated barrel. It's in 5.56. They're actually calling it the deal of the century. They're actually selling this very cheap, but it's on a sale. When they're gone, it's gone. It's made out of 4150. Everything's standard. It's a carbine length, 4150 chrome moly steel barrel, 5.56 NATO. It's 1 in 7 twist. It's carbine length gas port location, and you use a standard gas block.
And again, it's in the barrel section, right?
Yes, sir.
And AR-15 and barrel combo XX Extreme barrel, $89.99. Oh, that's the 300 blackout. Okay, that's well, they got 300 blackout, they say, which is another option.
Okay, the barrel I just told you about is a 5.56.
Right, I'm looking for it. I just jumped out at me because some of the guys. But like I said, the problem with the bastard calibers is, and I'm calling them that because they are the odd calibers out in AR. Everybody's eating up all the ammo. So guys, for anybody, if you do have a 300 blackout and you wanted to build another one, yeah, you can still find a few barrels laying around, and there's a couple of them that are right here on the page that was just mentioned. But if you're looking for a 5.56, which I would recommend being the priority, then this is the direction to go, best place to go to find what you need. And I noticed another one that's popping up left and right is this 3.350 Legend, which is a newcomer. It's not been around that long. But there's a bunch of the barrels laying around. Problem is, I haven't been able to find any ammunition, any quantity for that. So it's one of those that if you had it, fine. If you wanted to build another something, fine. Otherwise, just it's not even in your. It should be in your. It should be in the brain pan as a solution. Only because there simply won't be any more. So again, that is at over in the barrel section. And in fact, go
what
through
I
it.
do, I just went to AR-15. When you go to DeltaTeamTactical.com, I just click on where it says AR-15. I bring my cursor down to where it says barrels.
Excellent.
And then I click on the barrel. And, just bring up the barrels page is what I done.
Yeah, and they do have some of the pistol and odds and ends there, too. So if you were looking for that, guys, is that that's a 1 in 7 twist, right?
Yes, 1 in 7 twist. Yes,
okay,
sir.
I'm looking at it then right there. $85.
XX Extreme Barrel Company Premium M4 Contour AR-15 5.56, and when I clicked on her, it's $84.99. This is a 1 in 7 twist phosphate barrel. It's a fancy cryo treated, and it's made out of 4150 steel, and it's a carbine length, 5.56 1 in 7 twist. Yeah, that's it.
And it looks like it'd be the best choice of the bunch right now of what I've seen, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So also shop the page, look to see what else might be useful there, guys. Again, another solution, DeltaTeamTactical.com. 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 As a matter of fact, somebody just said, okay, well, yeah, they're, where are they located? You got any idea?
To be honest with you, I don't remember. Now, Delta Team Tactical does have a deal that if you order over $120, it's free shipping.
Excellent. So right now that's again a plus because any dollars you can
I
save
know
there.
people that have purchased from these, Mark, and I would not hesitate to order from these people.
Yeah, another thing real quick, everybody I was asking, what about mags, what about mags, what about mags? Guys, wherever you can find magazines, it's catch as catch can right now. That's another item. We're totally separate from what we're doing. You know, it's still not separate because you're going to need them, but Palmetto's got some metal ARs for 10. You know what? Thank you for jogging my memory. Over at gunpartscorp.com. They have Bushmaster mags for $10 a piece. They're metal, they're original Bushmaster, and they do have them in stock, and they have them in bundles of 10. So if you go look over in their clearance and deal section, they have that right now, at least they have them in stock. Okay, a lot of people don't have the magazines in stock, but that is still $9 over at Palmetto for the same basic magazine. But Bushmaster mags over at unammo.com for the AR for $10 a piece, which at least they have them in stock for the time being. I don't know how long that's going to last. Other companies will come in and clean these people out and jack the price, people.
Okay, well,
that's going to happen eventually.
Ammo. I'm sorry, Mark. I know I'm talking over here. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Go right ahead.
Surplusammo.com has some Magpul P-Mags in stock. They're one of the M2s. I think it's a newer generation. They're $10.99, but it shows them in stock. Now, they had a deal, and I'm trying to see if their shipping deal exists. See, I play shipping deals, but I'm thinking they had a shipping deal somewhere. But I can't find it. But anyhow, Surplus Ammo also has some.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm looking down here. Whoa, but they've got Lancers, which are $50 a piece. No, guys, don't worry about that. No, we're not.
Well, Mark, I'm going to go ahead and get off the air, and I appreciate you.
We got to get out of the way, too, because we're at the top. Craig should be coming up next. We should be hearing the music right now, as a matter of fact. God bless our Republic. Death to the New World Order. We shall prevail, ladies and gentlemen. The Empire's on the run. We're in march. We're going to get out of the way. Craig coming up. He's been very patient. Again, Craig, copper rounds, guys. Buy the copper round 1-ounce coins from Craig. God bless. Bye-bye.
There's always room in life for this. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Then it fell apart. Fell apart. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Then it fell apart. It fell apart. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Then it fell apart. It fell apart. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Like it always does. Always does. Street sounds have told me. They held me down every night. I didn't have much to say. I didn't give up the light. I closed my eyes and closed myself and closed my world and never opened up to anything that could get me at all. I had to close down everything. I had to close down my mind. Too many things caught me. Too much could make me blind. I've seen so much in so many places. So many heartaches, so many faces, so many dirty things you couldn't even believe. I would
stand in line for this. It's always good in life for this. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Then it fell apart. It fell apart. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Then it fell apart. It fell apart. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Then it fell apart. It fell apart. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Like it always does. Always does.
This session is no longer being recorded. Goodbye.